What's up? It's your boy bringing you some of that tender loving, low quality content. This particular video is a request that I had from a commenter on my tier list. Unfortunately, I think they deleted the comment, but they asked, hey, which pair should I EX first or take to 6-star? And somebody else kind of mentioned that they had liked the list too, so this is that list. So I'm going to try to keep it short and to the point. Let's get into the ground rules. Short answer is you should do your favorite pairs first, right? That's kind of the cop-out answer, but it is a realistic answer. In terms of gameplay, I do recommend strikers and high damage tech pairs. You'll see more of that. And I personally think it might be helpful to get a 6-star of each type with the exception of normal first. That way you kind of have a team diversity. So this list is 20 pairs. I think kind of the top 20 pairs to 6-star first. And I'll talk a little bit when I show the groupings. So this list is only free units, no premium units, with one exception, which I'll talk about. Only free units, only units that you can get from the standard pulls, from the ticket pulls, story, all that stuff that have 6-star available. There are some units that are in the game that do not have 6-star, and also no legendary units. They mentioned, so the thing about the legendary units is that their 6-star is only available for a limited time and it costs essentially event materials. I'm really glad I made this video today when I'm recording this versus earlier, because I would have said that they have never redid a villain event which had a 6-star for a legendary event, but as of today, the 10th of October, they have reran the Cyrus event, so you can actually get Cyrus's 6-star, which I highly recommend. You don't have to max out the pair. All you need is Cyrus at 1 of 5, which you get for free, and then 20 of his power-up tickets, which you also get for free. So it's very easy to get, like my wife, for example, has a level 1 6-star silver and Ho-Oh. So it's free. Go ahead and do it, and when the legendary EX events come around, they should be your top priority. They mentioned in the last dev note that there is a villain arc for a new region, and they introduced some new story interludes. So personally, of these, I think the next legendary that's going to get a 6-star is, oops, come here, is Getsus. There's a character in the 2 interludes that shows up, and I think that's going to be the hint that the next one's Getsus. I personally hope it's Sycamore, but I digress. I've already flashed it a little bit, so I guess let's get into the actual list. These are who I think the top 20 are. There's more than 20 here because I have some as either ors. And pretty much this, how it shakes down is how strong is the unit, how prevalent is the type, and how strong is the type as a whole. So like you look at somebody like Blue, he is a very good unit. Everybody has a copy of Blue. Flying type's pretty prevalent, and within the flying type, he is still one of your best options. He wasn't the first flying type I got Anniversary Steven, which kind of leads into the other thing I'll talk about with certain pairs, which is if you have a premium unit of the type, you may just want to get the premium unit instead. So there's that. Speaking of premium units, the one I think everybody's going to mention is Red and Charizard, who I think is, if you don't have Leon, Anniversary N, or even Ho-Oh, he is your best bet, and everybody can get him for free. Granted, you have the choice of the other two, but I think most people choose Red and Charizard, and he's still a very, very good fire type, all things considered. And that's where these two come in, because if you pick Blue and then you don't have Leon or Anniversary, you know, all those, then it goes further down. But we'll start at the top. Like I mentioned, blue is very good. Flying, I feel, is pretty common. Everybody gets them for free, and like I said, blue is still one of the better flying types in the game. Moving on, grass is very common. Infamously, grass has only 3 now premium units. Victor, I don't know if he's any good, but Brendan is a very consistent, very strong striker, and then Signasuit Erica and Leafeon is a high damage tech. I personally went with Leafeon, but I think for new players, you might find more use out of Brendan and Sceptile. Moving on, this one's kind of on the lower side of common, but I do think B or Wally should be one of the first ones you grab. I personally prefer B, but they're both strikers. The biggest advantage B has over Wally has more versatility, being able to do both physical and special, but he megas on his sync move, which does lower its damage. Moving on to red, I already mentioned it. He's kind of one of the big popular units. My dog has decided that now is the time to eat instead of all day that she refused to eat. I love her so much. She is a dumbass. But yeah, red does really good damage. And if you have him and you don't have another good fire type, red's your best bet. I personally did Leon. I picked blue for my free Kanto Signasuit, but again, the potential is there. Moving on, the best free water type. Again, water is very good. We're very prevalent type, and May is still a very good water damage dealer. She is a tech unit, and she does mega on her sync move, but she can do a lot of damage. She sets up her own rain. She hits all opponents with muddy water, and once she megas into Mega Swampert, she hits like a brick truck. Rosa's up here because hers is free, and I always recommend free. They give you the materials to 6-star her. If you don't want to, that's fine, but again, free. Moving on, I will go with Lusamine first. So this tier is like, you should get one, for these pairs you pick one, but you should get, you know, one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You should start here, and maybe once you have 2 or 3 from this row, or all 6, then you move down a row. But numbers aren't rankings. Really, the only ranking is this is Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D. So starting down here, I'm going to talk about Lusamine and Hala. Both of these, I think, are the best of their respective typings. Lusamine for sure. Hala, you can maybe argue not so much. I disagree. I think he's the best ice type. I like him better than Getsus, and definitely more than Holiday Leon. Even if Getsus gets... Maybe I'll sing a different song if Getsus gets a nice grid or grid expansion with his upgrade, but with a 6-star, I still think Hala's better. And part of that comes down to Hala is a striker, Getsus is a tech type. But their typings aren't nearly as prominent as these guys up here, which is why they're down a tier, but they're definitely the best of their type. Another one that can go for, to a lesser extent, is Mash Royale and Olivia. Both of them have premium options that I think are on par. So if you have Signasuit Cyrus, if you have the Festival Inn, you might want to do those instead of Incineroar. I disagree with that. I think Incineroar is arguably the best dark type. But again, if you have a premium unit you like more, you could go for that. Definitely better than Karen and Houndoom. Olivia is kind of the same boat. There's the Diancie Hilda and then Classic Blue with Aerodactyl. You could argue, are on par better with Olivia, but Olivia is much more available, and you're not really losing that much. The last one I'm going to talk about is this pairing right here, Howe and Volkner. This kind of comes into, the typing is kind of prevalent. Both of these pairs are not bad. You have a very free, good striker in Howe. You have the terrain setter who can do pretty good damage with Volkner. But if you have a premium unit, we just got through with Thunderbolt Red. Ash is still available at the time of this recording. And even In, who you can at least guarantee is going to be on that monthly Poke Fair for the Trainer Lodge, because he's in the Trainer Lodge, you would be better off with those. But Howe is at least serviceable until then, and I do think he's better than some of these that we're going to talk about later. So moving on to Group C, the third group. This is kind of where it gets to, these types are not common enough, and there's better premium options. Poison is notoriously a shit show. I have said more than once that I do not like Plumeria, and I have her EX'd and my main damage dealer because she is the only damage dealer. I don't have Looker yet, but from what I've seen from his kit, I don't know if he's that much better. He's equivalent. We are getting a new poison type with a Halloween update, but even then, and it is a premium type, I will say that because it is a Halloween unit, but even then it's like, I don't know if it's that good. Poison's one of those ones that doesn't have any good damage dealers, any spectacular damage dealers. The same thing can be said for Ghost. Fantina is underwhelming, and I don't even think she has her 6-star available to her. Morty is definitely underwhelming, and your best bets are Signasuit Corinna, who is not available. For some reason, that was a fair. And Anniversary Lily, who is not shown back up. So Alistair is probably your best bet until then. But hey, Courtney up next. She's here because you should wait until you get Cynthia or Maxie for a ground type. If you are desperate for a ground type and you have Courtney, by all means go for it. I think she's the best of the ground types available. Bertha's big thing is just setting up the sand. And when I say best ground types available, I do mean free. There's only like 1 or 2 premiums, so not much to worry about. Bertha's big thing is that terrible, I forgot the name of the Stealth Rock setup and Sandstream. She's more of a support tech than a damage dealing tech. Courtney and Camera Up, I feel, is more of a damage dealing tech, which I think I may have also called in my, you guys probably haven't seen the video, but it's up there, the one I did with my fiance about Pokemon. It was the very first episode of Build a Game Workshop, Pokemon Master Units We Want. We covered the ground type, and my notes say I talked about Courtney and Camera Ups, but I digress. She's your best bet. Clay is trash. Hapu, maybe not trash now, but she's not good. Moving on, we have, if you don't have Red, you don't have Ho-Oh, you didn't get his 6-star, you don't have Leon, any of that, then kind of your best fire type damage dealing options are either Serena and Delphox or Ethan and Typhlosion. Of the two, I would say the better of the two is probably Serena and Delphox, because you can get around its overheat, lowering its special attack, because I think Impervious is on its grid. It has Go Viral Sleep. I think it's just a better unit of the two, but, you're fighting for a place that nobody wants. And then the last one in this group is Gladian. He at least gets a mention because he can turn into any type, and he's kind of really the only normal damage dealer there is. May and Mega Lopunny aren't really that good, and then the rest of the type is just really good supports with Leaves, Classic Red or Normal Red, Redlax, and then the Giovanni version. So this last tier is there are a lot better options available, and they're all premium essentially, or there's no free damage dealers, which is the case with like Jasmine. I can't go all the way down because it's messing with it, but like Jasmine and Steelix, their damage dealers are Zacian and Gloria, Steven and Metagross, player character and Solgaleo. I guess technically Moylane and a Alolan Dugtrio, but 2 of those are premium and the other 2 don't have their 6-star. So your best bet's Jasmine. She's a great support, but not one I would 6-star first. Same can go with this Lily. Quite literally, there are only 5 free fairy type units. And I think Lily, one of the Lilies is the only one that can get it 6-star. I don't think Valerie can, and even then she is really not good. Mina can't, same story. Sycamore can't, which if he could, he still wouldn't make this list. And then the other Lily is the Trainer Lodge. So this is your only option, and if you have again, these 2, if you have a premium of them, do that. You know, the only difference between these 2 and really the rest of this row and these 2 is that you can still kind of make do with these if you don't have a premium one. The typing is, or I guess in comparison to the rest of the situations are better is what I'm trying to get at, you know, especially for Ghost where there is no real damage dealer. And for Ground, there's only 2 damage dealers and they're both premium, but at least camera up something, you know, when you're talking with Licia for the Dragon type, you would rather do Cyrus, who's available right now, which just proves my point even more of don't do Licia. And then the rest of the good damage dealers, Lance, Signasuit, Cynthia, Zinnia, and Rayquaza with the legendary event if that comes back around, Champion Iris, Signasuit Leon, all of those are much better options than Licia. So that's another type where invest in a premium for that type. Same thing with Fairy, same thing with Steel. And then Psychic, basically the same thing. Signasuit Steven exists. I don't know when he's going to come back around, but essentially you're not going to 6-star EX Caitlyn or Lucian because Giovanni exists. And now that they've shown that they'll repeat legendary events, you're better off just getting your Giovanni ready for that event to come back around and grab Giovanni because he's free and he's a lot better than these 2. And even then, Lear has shown up more than once and he's available, or he's better. If Signasuit Lusamine comes back around, she's better. I really could have put Bianca on this list, but I don't like her sync move requirements because her whole gimmick is boosting up sword power, which she can do super quickly, except her sync move is low special defense on the opponent, which I just think is counterintuitive. But that's basically the list. I hope this helped. These are kind of the first 5 you should get, plus the free Rosa. Blue is definitely a big one. One of these 2 grass units is a big one. If you don't have red should be in that top 3. But if you don't have red, blue, Brendan or Erica, May, and then if you do have red, probably blue, Brendan or Erica, and then red, and then May is probably the order at which I do it. But I hope this helped you guys out, and hope to see you guys next time. Thank you so much for all the views on my last video. It is now my most viewed video at 3K moment of recording. Please give me suggestions, comments. I like answering your guys' questions. I really want to help out where I can. I'm still kicking around what kind of content I want to do. I know I've been doing a lot of Pokemon Masters content recently, but if you go and look back at my channel, that wasn't always the case. You know, I did a lot of sports content. I still do want to do some sports content. I don't know what kind of sports content, if that's just video games or sports history, all that stuff, but that's going to do it for me this time. I'll try to remember to put my Twitter in the description. Follow me over there if you want. Otherwise, stay safe out there, guys. Drive safe.